is Dylan, also known as the Dilleo, here with you with my top 10 albums. Coming in at number 1 is The Lonesome Crowded West by Modest Mouse. So, what is not to say about the album? First of all, I do believe that it is a flawless album. What not to say? So, with the album, there are songs, of course, like Teeth Like God's Shoe Shine, Cowboy Dan, Doing the Cockroach, Trailer Trash, and Trucker's Atlas, along with a whole another myriad of other amazing songs to go along with the rest of the album. Also to do with Modest Mouse, personally, they are my absolute favorite band. I have been to 7 shows of theirs, and I have been listening to them since 2004, when Good News for People Who Love Bad News first came out. So, moving on to the second album, Nirvana in Utero. So as far as songs, some of the main songs go for that album. For example, Heart Shaped Box, Penny Royalty, Dumb, and All Apologies. Yep. And for that album, not for that album, but anyway, I've been a Nirvana fan since I was 12 or 13. I'm thinking more like 13. Smells Like Teen Spirit was one of the first songs I learned on drums. So that's pretty good, pretty cool. I've always been indebted to Nirvana in that sense. Anyway, moving on to the third album, which is Make Yourself by Incubus. Yes, very, very awesome album. So, obviously I'm going to say this, but personally another perfect or flawless album to me. But, so some of the main songs on there, like as far as popularity goes, are Drive, Pardon Me, The Warmth, and Privilege. So, personally, I have an Incubus tattoo. Incubus was my first concert I attended at age 13 with my father. And, yeah, those are just some random facts as far as Incubus goes. Alright, on to album number 4, which is another Modest Mouse album, The Moon in Antarctica. Yeah. So that is, of course, like I said, the second album of Modest Mouse on my list. Personally, I feel like that album is a little bit nicer to listen to front to back than Lonesome Crowded West is, but I like the Lonesome Crowded West more as far as like the single songs is concerned, and of course I still like it more in general, but anyway, that's just my take on things there. So yeah, that's that, and moving on to the next album, which is album number 5, which is Happiness Is Not a Fish You Can Catch by Our Lady Peace. So some of the songs from that album are One Man Army, Is Anybody Home, Thief, and Stealing Babies. So personally, I have seen Our Lady Peace quite a number of times. Probably, I'd say about 5 times. And question is this a weird choice for favorite album from Our Lady Peace? Quite possibly, because I have definitely been told that by various people. But what can I say? Because just to kind of backtrack or reiterate that a little bit. A lot of people, as far as Our Lady Peace goes, would choose for a favorite album, would choose, say, Clumsy or maybe Navid, or stuff like that. But anyway, this is just my personal choice. And then some of it is nostalgia too. Anyway, moving on to album number 6 is Frizzle Fry by Primus. Yeah. So, very awesome album. As far as I can know or can tell, I think it was their first studio album by Primus. And so some of the songs on there: Groundhog's Day, Too Many Puppies, Mr. Know-It-All, John the Fisherman, and Herald of the Rocks. Alright, so, and then, yeah, that's about that for there. And, moving on to, album number 7, which is White Pony by Deftones. So, to do with this particular album, just a random fact, this is one of the later bands and slash albums I got into on this list. And another random fact is this album was released in the year 2000. So anyway, some more popular good songs from that album are Back to School, Digital Bath, Teenager, Passenger, and Change. Alright, moving on to the next album. Wonder What's Next by the band Chevelle. So just a random fact, I discovered Chevelle for the first time while playing a video game, which was Road Rash Jailbreak, a video game for the PlayStation 1. And to make a long story short, they just had a whole bunch of different bands that had songs in that game, but I'd say Chevelle was definitely the most famous, but from what I can remember back then, Chevelle wasn't famous, or at least when they submitted their song for that video game, I don't believe they were famous. So I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, yeah. But oh, and by the way, the songs for that album are Comfortable Liar, Send the Pain Below, The Red, and Forfeit. Alright, moving on to album number 9, Biffy Clyro, Infinity Land. And Biffy Clyro is the band and Infinity Land is the album. So as far as it's concerned, they have a really explosive sound, and Biffy Clyro is a band from Scotland. So so the songs from the album that I chose to that are popular, I'd say are Glitter and Trauma, Strung to Your Ribcage, My Recovery Injection, and Wave Upon Wave Upon Wave. Alright, and then the final album is A Perfect Circle, The 13th Step. So, like what I was going to say about that, about the final album, is I think a lot of people like the previous album more, which I believe is called Mare de Nom, or something along those lines. But anyway, I don't blame them. But I've always loved the emotional sound of the 13th Step a lot more, and then there's also the nostalgic factor as well for me. So yeah, yep. And the songs I chose from this album are The Package, Blue, The Outsider, and Pet. Alrighty, so that ends the top 10 albums of my favorite album list. Alright, so thank you everyone for viewing this video, and yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming by, and give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and subscribe as well if you enjoyed this too. Thanks a lot, appreciate it, and have a good day or night. Take care. Later.